are you guys doing this morning? It's your girl Audrey, your income producing homemaker, your property manager with a personality, and it is a good morning. Anyway, so I just wanted to hop on really quick, nothing super long here, but just a thought. There has definitely been a lot going on with myself. There's been a lot going on in my household, and just the business and things like that. And mainly with the business, as some of you guys know, I'm 8 months pregnant. We run a local property management business. We're getting into sales as well, but in running things, of course, I'm due in a month now, right? Pretty much. And we had hired somebody else on in order to prepare for maternity leave, and that person just they're just not working out. So we had to get in a position a month before maternity leave. Now, mind you, we would have to train somebody else to be prepared, not only to do the work that we require, but to do it well enough where I can actually be on maternity leave. And my husband and I can enjoy our new baby and do all of those good things. So it has been a moment where I'm just like, Lord, what in the world? Like, when it didn't work out with this young lady, I was just like, okay, well, this was the game plan. And then normally what would happen during this time frame, and y'all forgive me, I'm on my way to work. So if I'm not looking directly at the camera, that's why I'm looking at the road. But this is kind of happened before, where the last time that I had my baby, we were hiring on for somebody else, and they got trained. They had at least a full 30 days, if I remember correctly, at least a good 30 to 60 days to be fully trained, fully immersed before actually, before I actually had my child. Well, this time around, it's a little different because everything is in crunch mode now. And there was a moment in time where even last time I had more to work with. I had more time. I had all of that, but I still was more fearful of the unknown. I was still more fearful of, okay, what's going to happen? How is everything going to get done? I felt a lot more stressed out. This time we have a lot less time to get somebody prepared, look for a new hire, get them in, and do all of this. And the moment that we were just like, okay, we're going to make this move, I had to make a decision. I had to make a decision whether or not I was going to treat this moment the same that I treated it last time, if I was going to get super hyper stressed out, do all of those things, or if I was going to trust God. And I think from a day-to-day perspective, it's easy enough to say that we trust God, but when we're put in situations where we actually have to lean on Him and trust Him, it's very, very different. And I decided to trust Him. And when I gave God that part of my heart, when I gave God that part of my hustle, when I gave God that part of my grind, and I said, you know what, Lord, this is not anything that I can work myself out of. This is something that you have to do, and you alone. When I did that, there was a peace within me. There was a peace within me. And one of the thoughts that came to mind that I wanted to share with you all, and if it worked for me, is something that now I find definitely very important. Maybe it'll work for you as well. But one of the thoughts that came to mind is I've been here before. I've been here before, and I was thinking about when new athletes, they're scoring their touchdowns, they're getting their goals, they're doing all these things. One of the things from a conduct perspective that coaches teach them is act like you've been there before. And I had that thought cross my mind, and even when it came to this, that's kind of how it settled in my spirit. Like, no, you've been here before. There's no reason to stress. There's no reason to worry. There's no reason to do it. You've been here before. And it's like, but last time I had more time. Like, last time I had more resources available. Last time, I wasn't strung out. Of course, I was carrying my first child then, so I didn't have another child per se, to necessarily worry about and make sure they're taken care of and they're fed and they're clothed and they're doing all this. I didn't have all of that to worry about, and worry about, you know, my own health and making sure I'm taking care of myself and not working extremely long hours and doing all of that for the sake of the child I'm carrying. And on top of that, worry about the business and my household and family. I just didn't have so many factors. And even though at the time that particular situation seemed extremely overwhelming, this one had a lot more going on, right? But it was in the moment of making the decision and making up my mind that, number one, God's got it, and number two, I've been here before. And it's like, even though I haven't been in the exact same situation before, one of the things that I think that is important is that we truly do lean, depend, and trust in God. Because even though we personally may not have been in a situation before, maybe you just now lost a loved one that is close to you and you don't know how to deal with that, or you've just now lost a job where maybe other people losing their jobs during COVID, but you just lost your job, you had to figure out what to do, or you just lost a spouse, or whatever the case may be, whatever that situation is, where maybe you don't feel like you've been there before, and you're like, Lord, I have absolutely no idea what to do, where I'm supposed to be going, how to deal with this. Like, when you feel like that, you have to lean and depend on God. Why? Because he's been there before. He's been there before, and he's only been there. Think about this. To say, God, free of sin. Free of sin. He had no reason. Free of sin, free of struggle. He has no reason. He's God. He had no reason to actually go through strife, test, or trials. He had no reason to go through that outside of you. Outside of his love, his desire for you. And he's been there before. He's been there before. He knows what loss feels like. He's been there before. He knows what sacrifice feels like. He's been there before. So through him, by way of Jesus Christ, there is no situation that is new under the sun. We have to start really processing the things that we say on a day-to-day basis as just some sort of cliche. And we really have to start processing it like we believe it. And like our lives depend on it. There is nothing new under the sun. So when you're going through trials, when you're going through situations, when you're going through circumstances, it is so important for you to know you have been there before. And if you have not personally been there before, that's even better, because you've been there by way of Christ, and you know that he survived. Not only did he survive it, but not even death could stop him. Please understand what is actually in your DNA. Please understand what is actually in your hustle and your grind and what that's actually made of. We get so proud and depend on ourselves. If you only knew how limited you are, if you only knew how finite you are, if you only knew how minuscule your grind, no matter how many people praise you for it, no matter how many times you may have accolades and you may do all of these things and you may have these achievements, no matter how many times you have those type of accomplishments or those things, it is so minuscule in the bigger picture of things, of what God has achieved and what he has accomplished on your behalf, what he has done on your behalf. He has gone to hell and he's come back with all authority, all power in his hands. So that means you are literally unstoppable through the finished work of Jesus Christ. And when we really do that, verses that say, trust in the Lord thy God with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding, man, that makes so much more sense. It's so much sweeter. It's so much sweeter. So if I can give you anything this morning, if I can say anything this morning, man, I hope you get the realization that I have. We've been here before. Yes, it's tough. Yes, it's hard. Yes, some people may be backbiting your name. Yes, they may be doing this. They may be doing, yes. It's not always easy. It's not always easy. But you've been here before. It's not always easy, but it's so very possible. And it's possible by way of Jesus Christ. And that, my friends, that's great news. Y'all, I've made it to my destination. Take what you need and get on about your business. I'll see y'all soon. Bye.